Hi, I'm Greg with Greg James Designs, and so you've decided to build your Barndominium. Well, about maybe 10-15% of our clients come to us have built a home before, so they've been through the whole home building process. A vast majority of our clients have never built a home before, so that's what I want to go over. Kind of what are your first steps, start to finish, okay? So here we go. So, your first steps in your barndo journey. Here you go. So, first of all, where? Your land. Okay, well, that seems obvious, but there's a lot of things you need to consider when you're considering your land. First of all, is it buildable? Okay, is the cost to develop your pad site for your home and getting your driveway in, is it going to be so cost prohibitive that the land is not really feasible? So really think about that, okay? Also, when you're talking about land, how are you going to pay for it? Do you want to pay for it cash? You may have land that was passed down to you and your family. A lot of our clients, they have family land. You may already have your land, or you may say, well, we don't have our land yet, so what do we do? Well, we'll go into that in just a minute, okay? So one thing that you need to be concerned about is zoning and covenants, HOAs, okay? Very, very important. If you're in city limits, okay? So cities have zoning ordinances, and so that just basically says, okay, you can build this type of building here, you can build homes here, you can build apartments here, you can do an industrial area. So there's all this different type of zoning, so be sure that the land you're looking at and where you want to build your house, you can actually build your house, okay? It's not zoned for something else, okay? So that's real important. Also, covenants and HOAs. If you're building in an area to where you want to buy a lot, okay, and it's in a home addition or a platted area, so be sure to check the covenants of the HOA, get a copy of that before you purchase land, you get it from your realtor or whoever you're buying it from. Be sure there are no prohibitions on metal siding, metal roofing, anything metal, okay, because you're building a metal building, okay? So you don't want to get into this and think, oh my gosh, I can't even build this, okay, and I own this piece of land. So now, I will tell you this, we've had situations to where the client really wanted to build a metal building, but the HOA was not real savvy toward putting up a metal building for a primary home, primary residence. Okay, not to fear. What you can do is there's different ways to finish the exterior of that out, and we can help you with that. So you don't have to skin it in metal. If it's a steel building, you have to understand that the metal is somewhat of a structural component of the building. So when you remove that component of the structure, they have to compensate for that. So that may raise your cost a little bit. So be aware of that. But yes, there's ways to do traditional masonry, brick, stone, siding. You can do traditional materials and still have the metal roof, because I don't know, as far as I know, I've never run into any situation where they don't allow a metal roof of some sort, okay? So that's usually not the problem. It's usually the walls, okay? So think about that. So then your vision, of course, your plans. So you got to have your land, okay? That's obvious. And then your plans, that's kind of your next step. So we can help you with that. Your plans are really your vision on paper to the people that are going to help you get that done, whether it's yourself, whether it's subcontractors, whether it's a general contractor, okay? So very important. You'll also need your plans to go down about the money situation, about your financing. Where are you going to get your financing at, okay? So first step is your land, second step is your plans, third step is your financing. Once you have your plans, you got to go to find your lender. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do a construction loan. You'll need a construction loan of some sort unless you're going out of pocket cash, okay? A construction loan is real simple. It's just a very short-term loan. It's usually like 12 months, okay? And then how that works is usually you get your permanent mortgage first. There are some banks and institutions that will do it all under one roof. So we have a local bank that I work with that they'll do the construction loan and the permanent financing all together. Okay, so it's really nice. You only have one closing. And so, because bear in mind, if you go to a different bank, get your construction loan, you go to your credit union or whatever, and then you go over here and get your permanent mortgage, wherever that is, that's a separate closing. So those are separate fees involved, okay? But your construction loan, basically, a lot of people, so let's go back to our land here. You can buy your land with your construction loan here, okay? So you picked out your land, you got your permanent financing in place, and you can take your construction loan once the loan is funded. You can go and buy your land and secure that with your construction loan. A lot of people do that, so that's one way to do it. A lot of that depends on how much money you're going to put down. You know, there's tons of rules around lending, so I'm not a lender, so I don't feel qualified to talk about all that, but a lot of it depends. Now, if you have your land, let's say you own your land, I do know this, you can put your land up for collateral on your construction loan. Okay, so once you go to the bank, you go to your credit union or whatever, get your short-term loan, put your land up for collateral, and then I think a lot of times that reduces your money invested cash down to almost nil. So so another thing you're going to need when you go to your lender, you're going to need, with your plans, you're going to need a quote or a proposal from a builder. Now you can use your construction manager, which is over here, who's going to build it. You can do it yourself. Some lending institutions are not comfortable with what they call owner builders, with the homeowner building it themselves, and some are. So it just depends on who you're talking to. So now one thing you can do if you want to do a construction management, which is what we do here local, I don't do turnkey contracting anymore. Turnkey is just like it says. Basically, you give me your plans, I give you a price, I'm going to build your house for X number of dollars, turnkey, and barring any change orders. So, but a construction manager usually just works on the fee of the actual cost, okay? So you can take if you have a construction manager, a lot of times that will check off that box of the owner-builder issue. So you can use your construction manager as the builder of record for your project, and he can give you a quote and help you put your budget together, and then you can submit that with your plans to your lender, and you're good to go. Okay, so I hope that helps you. It's just kind of a short little step. This is kind of everything leading right up to the actual execution of the process of the project. So first your land, dealing with your land. Be sure to check your zoning covenants. Your vision, which is your plans. You need at least a basic set of plans to get started. They don't have to be exhaustive, but they need to be what we would call a bid set. In other words, it's conclusive enough to where your electrician, your plumbers, your framers, all your trades can give you an accurate quote. Okay. Then where you're going to get your financing, you got two parts of financing: your construction loan and your permanent mortgage. Okay, so two pieces of this puzzle here. And the good thing, let me make a note about this. Financing, I think what's driving this barndominium market in the last couple of years is financing is so much more available than it used to be. These kind of hybrid structures, these metal buildings / homes, shops, houses, whatever you want to call them, were really not widely accepted by lenders, and they were just kind of an anomaly. It's like they didn't know how to they had difficulty getting appraisals on them, because if you're going to build a 5,000-foot metal building home, then they have to go find another 5,000-foot metal building home, and so they couldn't get appraisals. And so, but the availability of lending, I think, is what's driving this market and this trend right now and making it so popular. It's just a lot more available than it used to be. And then, of course, who you're going to build it. You can use a general contractor, or you can do it yourself with the help of a construction manager. Just a note on the construction manager, bear in mind a lot of times there's no cost guarantee, so that's the downside. And the other downside is this. I was a builder for many, many years, and this is what happens. You're building your house yourself, and you're trying to find trades, because really the biggest challenge to building anything is not the vendors, it's not the materials. I mean, unless there's a shortage of something, which, you know, in this COVID time we're in now, it's a bit of a difficulty, not as bad as it used to be, but it's always labor. And so it's your electricians, your framers, your plumbers, everybody's going to put that building up. That's always the challenge. And a lot of times trades, if they know you're a one-off deal, if it's, you know, you're just building your home, then unfortunately a lot of times you get pushed back in the schedule. So if they have a builder that they do a lot of work for, or they have a client they do a whole lot of work for, then obviously they're going to get priority. So that's what I've seen the most of, is it's not so much people getting quotes and stuff, it's just to get the people to actually come out and do the work, and to show up on time and actually get it done. So I think that's where, if you have an actual construction manager that basically can provide you all that labor you need, that is a huge, huge deal. I mean, that can make or break your project. That could basically take something you really look forward to getting done and turn it into an absolute nightmare, because you can't get people on the job to finish, you know, or they do half the job and they won't come back. You can't get them back to finish, and it's a mess, you know. So be sure quality labor is really key to executing this well, and whether you use a general contractor or construction manager, if you're going to do it yourself without either of these, just be aware that could be a big challenge. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Give us a call. We'd love to help you.